Hi, my name is Alexandra Eisminger.
And my name is Sage Mazenko. And today we are presenting on Plato, Aristotle, and Quintilian. First, we're going to get into Plato. Plato was alive from 428 to 348 BC. Plato was the first to acknowledge early education. Plato was also considered a radical thinker because he believed that girls should also be educated with boys. And at the time, girls were not educated, only boys were. He also proposed a curriculum that should include games, drama, stories, and music.
Aristotle was another big influencer of the time. He lived from 384 to 322 BC. He shared a similar outlook as Plato regarding early education. He believed the importance of implementing good habits early in one's life. He thought that it was necessary. He was more of a logical thinker and was known as the first teacher and the philosopher. Quintilian was the third influencer of the time. He lived from 35 to 96 AD. He believed that education should not start before the age of 7. He was one of the most influential teachers and writers of his time. He chose to focus on imitation rather than intimidation, and he shared similar ideas to Plato and Aristotle.
Next, we are going to get into the importance of education through the philosophies of the three men. Plato's philosophy. He believed children were born with the essential knowledge they need to come into the world. He also believed that education should start at the age of 3 and revolve around play. Plato also said that their curriculum should include music and gymnastics.
Aristotle's philosophy was slightly different. He believed that behavior is learned, not inborn. He thought that children couldn't feel happiness because they didn't understand it. They weren't educated and they needed the guidance of adults to show them what happiness was and how to feel it. He also believed that children must be told what to do, that they imitate and learn from adults. And he thought that everyone should be provided with a public education, all, all people. He thought that it should start early and be based on morals and basic intelligence. Quintilian's philosophy included both Plato and Aristotle's philosophies. He thought that school shouldn't start before the age of 7 because education is not beneficial. All of the learning that the children do will not stick with them into the future. He definitely encouraged play at an early age. He was not okay with physical punishment. He thought that that affected children later in their lives and should not be used to teach. And he thought that education was not profitable until after the age of 7. So young children should focus more on developing themselves rather than their intelligence.
The shared ideas of the three men. All three men thought that education should start at a young age, and both boys and girls should receive education. They also believed the whole child development is important. Play should also be used for learning. So the differences between the three men's ideas. Plato, he thought all children were born with the essential knowledge, and he promoted musical education. He also considered gymnastics an important part of the education.
Aristotle thought that children must learn everything. He also promoted musical education, and he thought that for a successful education to take place, children must be taught correctly. If taught incorrectly, the education was not worthwhile. Quintilian focused on imitation rather than intimidation. Make the children act like you, not to be afraid of you. He promoted the use of language and writing, and he thought that different teaching methods should be used depending on the student and his or her abilities.
So the summary of our presentation is Plato, Aristotle, and Quintilian were all important influences for early education in a time when a child's education was not viewed as important or necessary. Here are our references. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them below.
Thank you.